What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. Today you're joining me in my F-150 Lightning, and we're going to be installing some Desert Does It seat jackers to improve thigh comfort since I'm 6'3". So this should be a pretty quick and easy one. We're installing these, and basically these are spacers that raise the front of the seat so that way it's a little bit more tilted. And if you're tall like me, some vehicles have extendable thigh bolsters, or some really can tilt the front up. The Lightning, not so much. So what I'm doing is I'm installing these spacers, and these will raise the front of the seat. You can also put them in the back if you're short or you just want to be tilted forward more. But I'm putting them in the front. It's going to raise the front of the seat, add some more thigh support, and overall make it more comfortable for me. And basically, to install these, all you're doing is taking out one bolt, installing the spacers, putting in a new bolt, and torquing them down. So it should be pretty darn simple here. I just vacuumed my floor here so that it was nice and clean. We're going to pop off these little covers here, and then there should be some 13mm bolts. We'll take those out. We'll put in the spacers by just tilting the seat back. We'll put in the new bolts with some Loctite, which is right here included. And I'll, of course, link this down below for you guys. But let's get to it. So I'm going to pop these off. So I'm just using a little pick here. You just want to kind of grab it from the top. And then there's just some clips on the back side. A little tricky to get this one while holding the camera, so one moment. So now that we've got those covers popped off, we're going to loosen these bolts here. They should be fairly tight, so you might need a breaker bar or something. So I'll loosen both of these. Then we'll use my kind of impact driver, since they're fairly long bolts, just to spin them out. We'll put in the spacers. I'll show you guys how to do that. We'll use the Loctite. Continue. So broke them loose with the socket wrench. And now I will just get this on there if I can. There we go. And then we'll loosen them. Just like that. And they are, of course, fairly long bolts, as I mentioned. So if you have power tools for the removal and the initial tightening after hand tightening them, that will definitely make your life easier. Just like that. And then, so we'll just have to tilt the seat back a bit in order to get the spacers in there. I'm going to open these up and then we'll do that. So here we have the seat jackers themselves and how they come in the package. And you can install these either just one of them. So if you're installing one of them, you'll use the seat jacker one that's engraved like that. And you can actually put one per corner of the seat if you want to just raise the entire seat a little bit. But if you're installing both of them like I will, you'll put the one that says seat jacker on top. So just set these up, which seems a little bit odd to me, since that way they won't have kind of the spot to click in together. But I guess once we lift this seat up more, we'll see that those probably align with something on the seat and on the chassis of the vehicle itself. So you basically install them like that. I'm doing the full 1 inch in the front. If you're only doing one of them around or per corner, then you'll use the factory bolts. But if you're doing two of them, then you'll use the included longer bolts, so that are in these bolt or bags here. So let's get those in place, and then I'll show you guys kind of how to do that. Something else I want to point out is that, unlike a lot of the ones on Amazon that are just spacers, these are actually angled, so that way the seat sits properly once installed. So I think that's pretty important to note. And I think is also pretty important for safety, because that way the seat is actually properly supported by the spacers. All right, so here we have them in place. The trick is to push on the seat back. That will give you the most leverage to kind of torque the seat back a little bit. So we have them in place. I have not put bolts in yet, but you can see we'll need to adjust the alignment there very slightly. This one appears to be aligned. This one you can actually see all the way through to the floor. So we'll put those bolts in. Here you can see the bolt length difference. So this one's definitely a little bit longer, and it looks like this is a different size head. I believe it's a 14mm, so I'll have to grab a 14mm socket. So it turns out it's a 15 millimeter. So we're going to just hand put these in. Just lightly get the thread started. And we'll do both of them before we start tightening them at all. So we got one in. Let's fix the alignment on this one ever so slightly. So we will just like that. We'll make sure we get it started. We'll get those kind of snug down, and then we will torque them with my torque wrench to 27 foot-pounds. So we have them installed now, torqued down to 27 foot-pounds. We'll put the little trim pieces back in. Don't want them to fall in there like I just did. So you kind of hook the bottom there, and then just push it in place. It'll be easier to see over here. So hook the bottom, and then just push in place. You will have this little bit of a gap here. That's totally normal. I would recommend hanging onto the factory bolts in case you ever want to remove these. But other than that, you are all set. Oh, I forgot to put Loctite. So don't forget to put Loctite. You'll want to remove the bolts if you're dumb like me and put it in without the Loctite. But you'll just want to put basically a dab onto the threads themselves, and then put it on. Well, now that we have them installed, I think I'm pretty happy with it. Sitting here, feels like I have a bit more thigh support, which is really nice. I'm looking forward to some road trips in this, and hopefully being a bit more comfortable than I have been, especially just getting used to actually having to drive versus not. It's been a little bit weird actually having to drive this versus coming from a Tesla with FSD. You can kind of just put your legs however, but with this, I actually use the gas pedal, which is weird. Anyway, would love to hear what you guys think if you're tall, and if you think something like this would be helpful. Comment down below. I'll put a link down below as well for you guys in the pinned comment and in the description. But if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.